Now?
Has the music started yet?
Is the music going?
Is it on?
Are we
The
going?
stream's a
Or-
little bit behind.
Damn, you're gonna have to give us a
Now?
warning here, then.
Is the stream?
I think it's going.
Oh shoot, guys! It is going quiet.
Oh, okay, good.
McClunky!
Hey, McClung.
Okay.
You fucking guys.
Hello.
We are back with the McClunky Squadron to talk about Mando, episode 20, The Foundling.
Hi, it me, Dad.
And a bunch of goofballs.
Wait,
Hey,
you're dead?
my
I thought
dog
I was
is biting
dead.
my chair 1 second.
No, I'm
Your
Dad.
dog's biting your chair, Astro,
stepdad.
no.
Bro, he bites everything.
He bites. Are the cords okay? Like, have you had to manage
What a
that little
fucking-
bit?
I've had to replace 2 cores
Oh
already.
boy, yeah, like that's my biggest fear of that kind of thing. I hate that.
I wouldn't
actually
have a
went
dog.
I went through my dog's teeth and removed them one by one, so he can't bite anything ever again.
Did you really?
No!
He loves
Oh
me.
my god.
No way that's true. If that was true,
I mean, like-
I would get
well,
you
like,
off
if
of
it
the
was
show.
If it was like his baby teeth or something, I'd be like,
Oh, okay,
maybe.
yeah, fair.
No, he's 10 years old.
Yeah,
we
no,
call
fuck
him-
that.
We call him Gummy now.
That's just such a gross concept to me. Just of this dog like gumming you.
Yeah.
That's
I like to
worse.
put peanut butter on my fingers and let him get it off.
Soft mouth Doug. That's his name.
Talk about a
Hey,
whole
doing, baby?
nother whole nother level of ASMR. Doug ASMR.
Like,
All right.
That's-
All right.
That's awful.
The Foundling, guys.
The
Foundling.
Mandalorian.
What did you guys think when you saw the title "The Foundling" come up? What was your vibe?
I was like,
I had a-
it's Grogu.
I had a good feeling that this episode was going to be about a foundling.
Yeah, but I mean, like for me, I was like, okay, so I had this episode a little bit spoiled for me. That's like I had saw a picture of Grogu.
You say
like,
that every week.
I know, like I always just see like a picture, like a little bit of a fucking picture from a thumbnail, and I'm like, no, because I did not.
Foundling being, I see. I don't know why, but I was thinking when I heard the name Foundling, I was thinking that Paz Vizsla's kid was going to be abducted by some raptor aliens.
Confirmed. His kid, too.
It was weird.
Confirmed.
Yeah, which like,
Ragnar
Oh, yeah, 'cause
Vizsla.
we were talking about the helmet being like, oh, that's like Paz Vizsla's kind of.
Yep. We thought he might be just like a regular foundling, but
well,
nope.
and
that
just
is
in
confirmed
general,
his
that,
son.
Like, the way that they've been showing that kid and Paz Vizsla, like in general, like it would always be like the way that they'd show him in the background looked like he was like proud, even though it's like we can't see his face, but like they would show him, so it felt very like connected in that way.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
when he was giving him a piggyback ride the one time, it was
Oh,
people were like, that's a little weird, but
you guys are missing the whole point. 2 Mandalorians had to bump helmets to make that kid.
yeah, do they
Yeah.
take off their helmets during, or like what happens?
No, absolutely not. They're definitely helmeted the whole time.
Like they never know what each other looks like.
Who's the mom?
Who is the mom, right?
The
Like,
mom.
The
Armor.
Forge Mother.
I actually think that might be true though. What
could
you
be.
said, AJ.
Where she just has like a prima nocta like on.
I'm the leader of the war party. I stay by the fire. And now who's a bad boy?
Oh, man. I love that his name is Ragnar.
I thought that was weird, but I like it. It's whatever.
Yeah, like
Ragnar
we got
Vizsla.
Free Vizsla, Paz Vizsla, and Ragnar
Ragnar.
Vizsla.
Ragnar
Oh,
Vizsla.
okay. Like that kind of thing makes me think. Like I think that he is his actual kid, but I almost wonder if he is just like a foundling that he's like, that's my son in that way. Like,
No way, dude.
do you think it's like
No
actual
way.
genetic?
Definitely.
Yeah.
The way he went after that kid, for sure.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. I
Like
just
he
think that maybe he
foolishly
takes
tried
it way,
to
like,
go into
seriously.
a bird's nest to get him back.
Yeah.
Well, that's what
That's
I
a
mean.
very
Like,
bad thing to do.
I just think that like maybe the Mandalorians, like the culture around it, like they take the foundling concept like more serious.
Yeah, I guess like sort of Din would have done the same thing for Grogu, wouldn't he?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Like, so maybe like the Ragnar thing in that capacity makes sense. We found this kid named Ragnar. I mean, like maybe I'm gonna change it to like
Yeah. Could be.
Hasnar or something like
Ye-
That's not.
Pasnar.
I think it most definitely is blood because when Mando refers to Grogu during the challenge fight, he's like, "I'm his ward." You know, he
Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
go like, "I'm," you know.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
true,
pretty
yeah.
sure it is actually.
Yeah, he
Yeah, they-
went hard with the father thing.
They call Din Grogu's dad, but they don't call Din doesn't call Grogu his child.
Yeah.
Did they call the giant creature a raptor? Because I've been calling it a raptor instinctually.
Yeah, they did a few times.
Oh. So I guess it's just like in the back of my mind, I've heard it.
I'd also like to say we got our fucking turtle retribution, bro.
Yeah, we did.
We got to see our turtle come back.
I thought that was so funny because I called that the second that it fell into the water. I was like, and
Same.
dragon
It's
turtle
done.
rises from the
Yep.
water, and there it is.
And
Yes.
we got Jurassic Park.
I was about to say, damn it! It's about to get Jurassic Worlded.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I didn't think turtle. The only thing that came to mind was Qui-Gon Jinn, just in the back of my mind saying, "There's always a bigger fish."
Yeah.
I just was like, since we're on this fucking planet where we saw this dragon turtle model that we already have, it's popping up, yeah.
Bro, this planet is
Sucks.
fucking dangerous.
It's Australia.
The Mandalorians. I think honestly, like that's what it's about. It's like we got to go on a planet where it's like brutal, so it tests.
Yeah,
us
for
kind of.
sure.
Okay, so I want to talk about Jar Jar Binks.
Well, hold on. Before we get to that, the opening shot of this episode was so stupid to me because, like, it's just Mando shooting into water. There should have been targets out there or something.
Yeah, that was.
That was. I didn't have to
It
say
looked
that.
really cool. Like, I got me really excited. I'm like, look at all these Mandalorians kicking ass. And then, like, when that raptor showed up, I'm like, oh, that thing fucked up real bad.
Like, it's so funny to me that they're just like shooting into water and they're like, I hit where I was trying to hit. I know what I'm doing.
Shooting into the water was a little strange.
It was
Do
funny.
you know
I thought
why
it
they
was
were shooting
hilarious.
in the water?
I thought, like, maybe they're, like, target practicing with, like, fish that were jumping or some shit. But, like,
So they don't
Dinner.
have targets. They don't have like blast marks on like anywhere near, because if they did have targets and blast marks, and that just leads to them getting discovered, right? If
Oh,
you see
that actually
blast
makes
marks on
sense.
the outside of the cave, it's a hidden convent. You know,
stormtroopers were here.
if you shoot into the water, there's no trace.
I
Good point.
guess. I don't know if
Like,
like
yeah,
that's,
but, like, set up, like, some water targets or something.
yeah, some things that we can put away then.
I don't know. They are kind of broke though.
I mean, they are and they aren't, right? Like, I'm kind of like confused on that front a little bit.
Yeah, they could make whatever the
seem
hell
to
they
have-
want with Beskar.
They had
I mean,
like
the only-
nobody last time we saw them, and now like this season, it's like, there's like 70 of us.
Bro, they're setting up for a war or something. Like,
Well-
Reestablishing Mandalorian culture. They even got
Yeah.
themselves some new beasties to ride.
Yeah, I
true
was-
that.
I
yeah,
was-
those raptors. You think that's what's gonna happen?
That's exactly what they're gonna
Yeah,
do.
Absolutely,
That's what they
is
used to
what
do.
they're setting up. But that
See,
was
Bo's
so
gonna ride in on a mythosaur, and the rest are gonna be riding on raptors.
I'll just say this right now. I'm shocked to death that fucking concept, like bringing back the 3 babies, was so far back in the thought process that they did concept art of that. Like, if you guys watch
Was it?
through the credits and shit like that,
Yeah.
like one of the concept arts is that.
I want to know how the hell do they fit those babies in the ship?
I mean,
they
it
always
was
are
big.
doing shit like that.
Packed like a tuna
it looks
can.
like one of those things would take up so much space in that tiny little ship that she had, and they had 3 of them.
I would love to see the inside shot of all of them crammed.
Like,
Like,
all of them just stuffed up against the wall with these birds pecking everywhere.
So, okay, I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty confident that when it comes to the concept art, that season 1 was the only season that had like legitimate concept art, and seasons 2 and 3 are like done in post.
I can see that.
possibly, but like I feel like if that's the case, like a lot of it I feel is not accurate to what is on screen. It's still just like that concept phase. Like with the creatures that we saw in Mandalore, for example, right? Like a lot of those are just like so different. Like that's concept stuff from before, I think.
Yeah.
And then I think it's probably like half and half, right? Like we have some that is from before and some that is just after. So who knows with that one? I'd love to get the art book for season 3 and like read the fucking blurb on that.
I was just gonna say, even if it is like done in post, I mean, those raptors are fully grown in that image. So to a sense, if not concept, then they've already recorded that episode, right? And they paid the person to like, hey, make this look nice, that way we could have it in the credits.
Yeah.
It's just such like a weird one. Like that was like definitely a moment in the episode where I was like, oh, okay. I guess we're just getting like 3 new pets. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
I
go ahead.
It's cool
think
that
it's
it
really
happened,
neat.
but like when it came down, I was like, "What the heck?" Like, they're like, "Oh, we got 3 new Foundlings." I'm like, "No fucking way!"
No fucking way.
I think it's cool that they're kind of returning to Mandalorian roots.
Yeah,
Um,
with the
One thing-
mythosaur especially.
Yeah, well, how that's gonna come back.
One thing I do want to point out, just from an armor building perspective, there is a very interesting, at least for me, change in this episode to how the Mandalorian armor fits, which we have not seen anywhere else.
Oh, what a nerd!
Yeah.
That's
You
it's
say
really
that I
interesting
say
to me.
that thing every episode. This is what Richard says every episode.
Go ahead, and because I also want to talk about this, but go ahead and go into depth about that. That way, I can add on it.
Yeah, so I talked before about how like Boba Fett's style of armor, like classic Boba Fett, that's referred to as modern era Mandalorian armor, and Din's armor is referred to as post-Imperial style. So post-Imperial is defined by, it's all defined by chest plates because helmets are kind of universal. But the modern era chest plates are the segmented chest plates, right? So you have like a left chest, right chest, the belly plate, and then the center diamond, and they are all individual pieces that, you know, move around and adapt to the shape of your chest. Post-Imperial is just one big chest piece, maybe an attached belly plate, like how Din's current armor is. It's a chest plate with a belly plate that's like stuck to the chest plate. But in this episode, we saw Mandalorians wearing modern era chest plates that were seemingly had some sort of backing plate that made them all attached to each other, which we've never seen before. So it had the segmented chest piece from like classic Boba style, but there was some kind of welding behind them so that they didn't move around or float. They all stayed together like a post-Imperial chest plate. So it's more like a post-Imperial version of the segmented modern chest plates. And there was one scene where it was super evident where they're climbing up the side of the cliff and they show one of the random Mandalorians and his chest plate's like sticking all the way out. It's very clear right there that like, oh, they're wearing a very different kind of armor. And I wonder how that's going to change the Mandalorian Mercs CRLs, which is our guidelines for what we can and can't wear.
Well, to add on that, the pauldrons are different too. I don't know if you noticed that. They're ever so slightly different in design. And the Forge Mother makes note of that when she's making it. She says that they can't make modern pauldrons. And I do believe they're thinner because of the amount of Beskar that they have. It's more of a classic style is what she said.
Yeah.
Which is different than the post-Imperial too.
Well, the way she says it kind of conflates it a little bit because if we're talking about armor design, modern era pauldron design is literally just like a thin strip. Like if you look at Boba's pauldrons, it's just like a thin piece of metal. Post-Imperial pauldrons are much bulkier. And I think when she's saying I can't make it according to modern designs, she's referring to like the post-Imperial designs. That's why when she makes Bo-Katan's, it's more like classic Boba's.
So my question to you is, do you think that your pauldrons are going to have to change as well?
No. So we, in the CRLs for the Mandalorian Mercs, we can wear post-Imperial chest plates with modern era pauldrons. The only thing that really makes a difference is the chest plate itself. Because we've seen in season 1, there were Mandos in the background that were wearing classic style pauldrons. So that part isn't a huge deal. The chest plate thing is pretty big, though. It's the first time we've seen a segmented chest plate being used as one big piece, which is interesting.
And then 2 episodes back, right, we see those old Mandalorian helmets. Not old, but the Clone War era Mando helmets.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting to see how the helmets were designed then as well as compared to the newer newer as in chronologically in the universe, not so much in design. The helmets there, and it's just like, oh yeah, they've definitely come a little bit of a ways away from there, even if they don't
have.
Look
like
quite as
Boba
sleek.
Fett's kind of helmet, and you can see it in season 1 as well. The old Death Watch helmets, those style helmets, like the Jango Boba helmet, they kind of flare out at the bottom, and they have the rangefinder that Bo-Katan has. The more post-Imperial era helmets typically are like a bucket, like it's just the dome at the top and then it goes straight down. And they don't always have rangefinders. Like Din doesn't have a rangefinder; he just has the 2 ear caps, and that seems to be like that's kind of how their helmets are going forward. Like my own personal helmet that I wear from my kit does not have a rangefinder. It's kind of a mixture of both eras. But yeah, I don't want to go on and on about armor stuff, but that's this episode to me was like a gift. Being able to see all these different Mandalorians with all their different armors and how unique all of them were and all this cool stuff was neat. I liked it.
Merry Mandalorian Christmas to you.
Indeed.
Yeah, really. But
Bot
so
in chat.
someone get on that.
Nuke it.
If so, I thought that the Foundling was, because I thought this was going to be a fully flashback episode again. Like I was like, really, like a second episode in a row of like mostly flashbacky shit. But then when
glad they didn't.
Yeah, exactly. When the episode opened and we actually saw like the Foundling has his son and all that shit, Ragnar, and I was like, oh, okay, we're gonna have like this sort of structure. I was pretty glad about that because, yeah, like you said, like if we had 2 episodes in a row where I was like, I already feel like the season's kind of like aimless. It feels, I don't know.
I don't think that at all. I think
I don't know, man. They brought back Jar Jar Binks, so
yeah, that was a highlight for sure.
Wait, what?
Yeah, I knew you fucker. You wouldn't know that.
You wouldn't know who we're talking about.
You wouldn't fucking know, Richard. You're not a true Star Wars.
I just talked for 15 minutes about creating Mandalorian armor. Don't even come at me like that, bro.
My mom's looking at me all weird.
Motherfucking Ahmed Best comes through that door and like saves Grogu. That's Jar Jar's
For a second, I thought that was Mace Windu.
Yeah, dude.
What?
I tell you right now, because I thought the exact same thing. I was like, if right now they're fucking doing the Mace Windu's alive bullshit. Oh my god.
Wait,
the guy that saves Grogu
is Ahmed Best.
And he plays
Jar Jar's
Kelran.
voice actor. That's so cool.
And also, now
here's a lot of details about this character.
Yeah, folks, I was double elated when this happened because he's Kelran Beck, character from Jedi Temple Challenge or whatever. A stupid little kid show, which I actually think is funny as fuck to watch, where it's like, if you ever watched Jungle Run or like Temple Run or whatever the fuck back in the day, kids doing like little challenges to get to certain things. Holy fuck.
He plays a Jedi Master of this, like the host of this show.
So that's a real character.
And comes back in canon. It's a real character that goes back in canon.
He trained all these kids to die.
That actually kind of redeems that scene for me because I fucking hated that flashback.
Really? I thought, especially because like in that show, he's known as the Sabered Hand, and we fucking saw that in this episode. Like, holy shit, that was awesome to see.
Yeah, seeing him fight and stuff was kind of neat, but like I just don't want any more flashbacks. I don't want any more Coruscant, and I don't want any Jedis in a show called The Mandalorian. So that's just a me thing.
I think for like the sake of Grogu's, like, because a lot of people in the fan base are always like, "What is the deal with this fucking guy?" So like giving them answers like triple.
Yeah, this kind of flashback is good.
I'm like, I'm good with that.
I didn't like it, but I have
a character that I didn't like from season 1. Like, I don't care, you know.
I also just love seeing the clones, like, because they were like, they were right as the elevator was closing, right? Like, they were about to gat the shit out of that little crate, like.
I didn't like the flashback, but I do recognize that it kind of needs to be shown. I don't know what it is about these Coruscant scenes though, but they just look so damn bad to me.
Really? See, I don't see it like that.
They have that fucking filter on it to make it look all flashbacky, which to me takes away from it. Just show me, like, you don't have to convey that by putting on that like semi fisheye lens, right?
Yeah, there's like a sort of veneer, like a gloss to it that makes it look really bizarre to me. And I kept thinking watching it, I thought this with the first flashback we saw with Dr. Who Gives a Fuck. Like, why does it look so bad? When every other time they're on any other planet, it looks great. And I'm like, why does this look so shit? And then it kind of dawned on me, oh, they're applying some sort of filter to this. Mm-hmm. And it makes the whole scene look really cheap.
I went to school for like animation stuff, and they were always telling me, like, you're going to school for this, you are going to notice so much more problems in film and so much more this and this. I feel like, if anything, I actually lost that ability to notice shit. Like, I just don't care. Like, I'm going through it and I'm like, I'm here. I'm like in that vibe. I don't know. Like, I don't notice a lot of problem shit. Maybe in certain animation, I see things where I'm like, oh, that was weird. But in like visuals, I that wasn't my realm, right? So I just don't really notice that kind of thing.
I will say in the previous episode, which I've been calling the Andor follow-up episode because that's what it felt like.
Everyone called it the Mandalorian.
Yeah. I mean, Coruscant looks beautiful in that episode, so you know that that's not the issue. Is that the planet is poorly designed? It's literally just the stupid flashback filter that they keep applying to this dumb shit, dude.
Yeah. It's like a filter, and like I don't know if I feel like they're cutting the camera in like really close to people's faces. It's just something feels wrong about those scenes, and I got the exact same feeling with Grogu's scene too, where I'm like, this something looks just cheap about this.
It's that POV camera thing that you used to get back on the Sega CD, where like come on soldier, you gotta wake up, follow me, and then you go like it's that same size. Of course, it's gonna look shitty. That's what we grew up with on those old fucking ass consoles.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, games are better than that now, and
well, beyond the dumb
apparently.
flashback scene, I freaking love this episode.
I thought it was great.
It's exactly the kind of episode that I liked from season 1, where it's just a sort of episodic flavor of the week kind of episode. And obviously there's bits that lead into the overarching kind of progressing plot, which I think the soul of this season is
the mythosaur. Yeah,
it's not the mythosaur. It's definitely the sort of rebirth of the Mandalorian culture and who's going to take the reins in that, whether it's going to be Bo, whether it's going to be Din, or even whether it's going to be Paz. It could be Paz as well.
It could be Ragnar.
Because there's a reason we keep seeing more and more Paz, and it's not just that his armor is cool. It's that the guy also truly believes that he has a claim here.
Well,
It's the reason he fought Din for the sword.
This episode, I think, was a missed opportunity slightly to have them address their history, right? Where it's like,
I wish they freaking would. I don't understand why they won't do this.
This felt like the prime opportunity, like the campfire situation, to be like, let's sit down and actually like talk about things. But
right.
I don't know.
Instead, it's like, how do we eat our food in front of people?
It blew me away too, because there's a scene. I actually did like the food part. That was cool.
More, please.
But what blows me away is I think that this is the first time that they've said Paz's full name, and they said it on the ship right in front of Bo. And you'd think Bo would be like, wait a minute.
Vizsla? I know you.
I knew your dad.
Kind of. Like, not in love, but like, I was super traumatized when he died, and it shifted my entire personality pretty much. So
yeah, he was like a mentor figure to her.
Yeah,
it's
okay.
Fucking wild, though. Like, I don't understand why they don't... Can the three of them just sit down and fucking talk for a minute?
I just love that all these shows.
That's the main problem with all shows. They just don't talk.
It blows me away.
The fan base wants them to like actually have a moment and like discuss things that have happened to them. And like,
have you guys ever seen Cobra Kai?
No, actually, I really need to. I know you've
so many problems with that. Like so many issues in that show could be solved if they just fucking talked.
Every Karate Kid movie ever.
Yeah, honestly, that's like most movies.
Yeah,
let's just sit down and talk.
There's. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's the reason why they don't talk is because of the creed, right? It's not just the convent that it's part of the Mandalorian creed. They talk about the victories, the wins. They don't have to talk about this shit that they've encountered in the past because the Mandalorian culture unites them. And then we're reminded 2-3 times that just because one doesn't talk doesn't mean one knows, and if one doesn't know, they shouldn't talk, right? They could talk about it, but it doesn't matter. No,
I see where you're coming from, but still, though,
like honestly, yeah, like a lot of people watching the show don't even know that, right? They have no clue that the Vizslas and Bo-Katan have like connection. So, like,
well, if they go back and watch what they need to watch,
they need to watch 20 years of Star Wars.
I don't even need much. Just like, so for example, if I were to have written this, when Paz approaches Bo at the fire and says that she's the war party leader, that she gets to stay by the fire, it would have been nice for Bo to have like put a hand on his shoulder and been like, I knew your father, he was a good man. And for him to have just nodded and then walked away. Done. That's all we need. Just acknowledge.
Like funnier yet, he just be like, at least one of us knows him.
Right. Just give us something, because these characters have a history together. And chances are Bo might even know Paz.
I think what's going to go down is that we're going to see this unfurl for a fight for the Darksaber. It might not be this season. It even if I think there's a Mandalorian comic, I could be wrong, but I feel like that's going to unfurl in some sort of a small conflict over the Darksaber and who's the rightful ruler of the Mandalorians. So
Yeah, because we are still seeing that Din has no freaking clue how to use it.
yep.
I think that like Paz, I'd be okay with seeing him like still going for it, but I think that we got to see that opportunity already in Book of Boba Fett, which is annoying to say, but we saw him like fight for it and lose.
And
But,
I
like,
do think Paz, if nothing else, is respectful of the rules, and he's already lost.
and he seems better with Din now. Like especially at the end of this episode. I don't know, I felt like that in season 1, episode 3, when he came in and they said that this is the way thing together too. But then they always kind of have like a little bit of a back and forth. So
Yeah, they have like a Red and Gary from Pokemon kind of relationship.
Yep, for sure.
Where like there's clearly a little bit of like a rivalry there, but I think they do still have like a mutual respect.
Yeah.
For what they're like big brother and little brother, where it's like there's a rivalry, but there's still love there.
Yeah, they still respect each other as Mandalorians. So
Paz
I'm just
killed his
happy to see
Pidgeot.
this, dude. There's some small things in this episode that I like though. Just little details. Like I liked seeing them run out of fuel in their jetpacks.
Yep.
Mhm.
It's just stuff like that makes me happy as someone that obsesses over Mandalorian lore and armor. It's like seeing them run out of fuel is like, okay, cool. So we know that happens. That's good to
Now
know.
time to calculate that for our Mandalorian group to see how much fuel we can actually carry in our fake jetpacks.
Yeah, I did love watching that. One of the rando Mandos. Basically, his jetpack just sputtered out, and he's like, "All right, well, I'm gonna crash now."
Yeah, I'm actually shocked that, or unless I missed it, I'm actually shocked that we didn't see any like side Mandos like eat it in this episode. You know what I mean? Like, because they brought along like a bunch of extras, and I was like, oh, these are cannon fodder. Like, these are things that the monster's gonna eat. But like, nah, everyone.
Yeah, I
made
think
it.
they all made it. Yeah, I think
Successful
that they're
mission.
they're probably trying to avoid that. We've only seen, I think, one actually get dunked on by the turtle thing.
Yeah, he got
Yeah.
straight up eaten. Like,
Yeah, I think they're trying to avoid that because there's already so few of them. They want to. We already see that they're struggling. They're getting attacked by giant freaking vultures,
dragon turtles,
dragon turtles.
vultures that fly at like fucking jet speed. Like Christ.
That was one thing with the dialogue that I thought that was just strange. Was like Bo flies off and she's like, "I'm gonna go track its nest," and then the next scene is Bo landing, going, "I tracked its nest."
I found it, guys.
I found it like because they were always like when this has happened before, like they eat them right away, and I'm like, wait. So like, why do we know about all this shit like this, and we still are out and about like practicing? Like, oh, there's a vulture coming. What are we doing? Like, we have no plan set up.
What is the
all this
point?
practicing for if not to shoot down a vulture?
What's the point of Paz's freaking heavy Gatling gun if it can't pierce the hide of anything?
This guy carried like 50 pounds of equipment up a mountain.
Oh, he's a beast.
I
He's a
also find it
beast.
really weird that like the second I get that Jon Favreau is like busy and shit like that, but the second that Paz has like actual like development and lines, it's not being played by Jon Favreau anymore. Like I think that's really fun.
Oh no, it's not. Yeah.
He's got other shit to do instead of be Paz.
He's got to direct the show, I guess, and be right there for it.
Well, this one was Carl Weathers.
Fair enough. But I mean, like he's like overseeing like the whole show with Dave, I think so.
Yeah.
There was another part too where shit, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Sorry.
Anyway, one of the things that I do like is seeing them climb. I know
Yeah.
that's a little thing, but seeing I just obsess over like watching how their armor functions and how well it all holds up. Because like there's a thing in like cosplay called like the run test where when you get your whole thing put on, okay, now go like jog down the driveway and see how much falls off.
Yeah.
And I
So-
was super impressed to see that like they were actually climbing. Like that wasn't CG. They were climbing something.
Some of them
And
were like
their
really
shit was
fumbling
holding up.
around too. Like when like that one guy shot a rope up and he like starts swinging around all funny.
Yeah, like they were clearly having a little bit of trouble climbing in that gear, but it was cool to
So-
see it.
I have something to bring up when Ragnar gets regurgitated and like he's dangling from the raptor's mouth. He's like, "Help me!" And then Paz is like, "He's alive!" Like the way he says it is
boy.
the funniest shit.
I thought it was so funny that immediately he just goes and like launches towards the thing's mouth. I thought he was gonna pull like a Drax and just try to explode it from the inside or something.
Yeah,
I gotta show you the scene that I'm talking about, guys, because like I'm gonna share my screen.
He's alive.
But like, he does a little hop too. This scene right here. He's regurgitating Ragnar right now,
Okay.
and like Ragnar's like, "Help me!" Look,
Jump that he had to do there.
this little, like, he's alive, and the little hop.
That's
I
hilarious.
thought that was so funny when I watched it, dude.
There's a
Good
bunch
to
of
see
little
that they have
goofy
enough
things.
fuel to refuel those jetpacks.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
I used to think it was like, oh, they grabbed the fuel from the atmosphere or some shit, but because they never talked about it, and they always seem to have infinite.
Yeah, who knows? I doubt they'll ever explain how that stuff works. It could be like a thing that's like it like creates fuel from the air itself, but it just needs time to like regenerate or something. Who
Yeah,
knows?
that's what I was thinking was happening.
Who cares?
Did you
I'm just
think that
happy
cares?
with it.
when Din was flying at this fucking thing with a knife that he was gonna cut its wing off or anything like that? Did anyone?
Yeah, I thought it was gonna do
I thought
something
he was
weird
gonna
like
literally
that.
like slash the thing's whole wing off.
I think it's stupid that their vibro knives do more damage than like their guns.
Well, that was the whole point of the design of vibro blades, right?
Yeah, I know that they're like really powerful things, but it's still like, what are these lasers made out of?
Light.
Lasers.
Like, why?
I don't know.
Why do they do
obviously.
Why do they do nothing?
Well,
It's
you know,
like, why even use the damn
So
things?
valid.
a blaster versus a heavy blaster, right? It's
How do they
not
make
the
a laser
impact.
heavier?
It's well, that's what I'm about to explain. It's not the
sorry.
impact that they're increasing. It's the speed and the amount of damage that it does. It's just a bigger laser that they're shooting, which is why you normally with like the heavy blasters, they're bigger, or people with like the Gatling blaster, they've got the battery on their back, right? It's taking more power because it's producing bigger bolts practically.
Right.
But it's in reality, it's light. You know, it's a little radiate, like the fantasy science behind it. I'll call it. You know, you shoot a laser at somebody. Does it have mass? Yeah, it's got a little bit of mass. It's a little bit irradiated. That's the whole point of it. So you will see people get knocked back if they're like not wearing anything or they're not like braced for it. But most of the time when people get shot by a laser, what do? They just fall to the ground.
Yeah, I'd love to see them using more like ballistic weaponry too, because that is a thing in Mandalorian lore. Mandalorians typically stayed equipped with some sort of ballistic weaponry to deal with
Is that a
Jedis.
block line?
Well,
I'd
like Din has the whistling birds. That that's like, what the hell's a Jedi going to do about that? They're just going to get hit. And
Well,
like
use
that's
the
a thing in
Force.
Yeah, they can force
Mandalorian
away.
cultures. They would intentionally carry ballistic weaponry so that if they shot at a Jedi, the Jedi would try to deflect and they would get a freaking bullet in their face.
And then flamethrowers try to fucking parry this, you Jedi.
Exactly. Like most Mandalorians did carry weapons. They were renowned as Jedi hunters. This is a thing that they did. They were prepared to deal with Jedi, and it just seems like they kind of stopped. I guess they don't have much of a reason to be prepared against that anymore. To be fair, there's not exactly Jedi running around.
Well, the whistling birds, most of the projectile weaponry, it's not because they're projectile weaponry that the Jedi can't defend it against it. It's because they use fucking Beskar for everything, which can't be cut by lightsabers.
Well, I'd
right?
say,
The
like,
whistling birds themselves are Beskar.
Though the whistling birds too, though, are like a thing where it's a distraction, right? Where it's like so many different like little arrows and explosions, or not arrows, but like they're coming at you and exploding, and you are focusing
their
on
little
that.
missiles.
While suddenly the Mando is approaching you and killing you, right? Like
Beskar
you were
Beskar is
distracted.
also new canon. That is not like old canon. Beskar didn't exist. In old canon, Mandalorian armor was just plasteel.
Well, but it was like still really durable, right? Like because it was
It was
still what,
super durable,
it's what,
but like a
saved
lightsaber
Rogue.
would definitely cut through it. It would just
Yeah.
take a bit more time.
Well, welcome to the new age,
Welcome
Richard.
to the new.
Yeah, I know.
Um,
In new Star Wars, Beskar is impenetrable by lightsabers, and at the same time, the Force can be whatever the fuck you want it to be.
It's not. I will come out and say it's not that it's impenetrable. It's just if you want a good analogy, go back to Episode 1 and watch Qui-Gon Jinn cut through those blast doors. It's
Yeah.
not
Right.
Beskar, but practically that's what you have to do. You gotta sit there and press on it, and it eventually the lightsaber will go through the heating process, but like the
There's no
whole
lightsaber immune. It's lightsaber resistant.
Yeah.
Because I had a whole thing in the High Republic comics. There was a moment where a chick shoved her lightsaber into like a thick tree rock thing or whatever, right? And everyone was so mad because they were like, "Oh, it should be cutting through that like butter," and I'm like, "No. A lightsaber doesn't just auto cut through shit like butter, people. It like if it's dense, it takes a second. Like it's gonna grind through it.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah,
slow roll."
You see it in season 1 too, or was it 2? What season did he have the spear? Was that 1?
It
was 2. It was 2.
Yeah. He got it from
It was
that
2.
one weird chick.
Because when he fights Moff Gideon, who has the dark saber, and he blocks it with a spear, and you can see the spear is heating up. The spear like gets like molten red. But like I know that like Beskar is not fully, lightsaber proof, but Beskar itself is new canon. That straight up didn't exist before the Mandalorian.
Yeah, but I mean, Beskar and the Duraplast, they're practically in the idea of how they work relatively the same.
Kind of. It's
the grand
questionable,
scheme.
and no one really knows what the deal is now, because technically Bo-Katan's armor and Boba Fett's armor should not be Beskar.
Yeah, No, I get what you're saying, but like I think that they've definitely changed that to being that they are.
I think that they're now replacing the idea that Mandalorian armor was ever anything other than Beskar.
Yeah.
I would argue that Bo-Katan's and fucking Boba Fett's, their armor, well, no, because Boba Fett's armor is actually metal.
Actually, like you do bring up a good point though, in a sense, because in season 1, Mando's previous armor was that Durasteel? Like because it was
Technically,
fucked up. It was destroyed easily,
and it had to be
like,
replaced with Beskar armor.
Otherwise,
I think that the idea.
I don't think Beskar would be able to get like a dent in it, like Boba's helmet.
I think that it was implied in season 1 that his initial armor was like a Beskar alloy, whereas the new armor is pure Beskar.
Okay,
and I think that's the implication as well. For like Bo-Katan's armor, at least in earlier, like in the animation, like we see her get pretty fucked up. Like I'm not gonna lie, like her armor does take a lot of damage, but it's still like against blaster fire, and that's okay. They do make an effort to show that there is a difference between actual Mandalorian armor though, and like Stormtrooper and clone armor, right? Like those are definitely two different materials.
For sure.
Oh yeah, for sure. Just on the fact that like you shoot a fucking Stormtrooper and it's like
Stormtrooper armor is like plastic.
Yeah,
and
you can knock a Stormtrooper in the face like with your fist and they just fall.
You
down.
could like throw a rock at them and they will fall down and their armor will shatter.
In the new canon, right? Mandalore was still producing Beskar before the Imperial army attacked, right? The whole point of why the Imperial army attacked Mandalore is because they wanted the Beskar mines, and then they made the currency out of Beskar, so on and so forth.
Stormtrooper armor is made from a material called chromium.
Hey, I run that on my computer.
Nothing.
Isn't that a
I wish that they would, I guess, clarify a little bit, like what's the deal with Beskar? Like, is everything Beskar? Is some of
Chromium,
it Beskar?
they're that band, right? They made
Who's the fucking guy that made Jealous? Get with it. Who made? I'm looking that up right now. Sorry. Total side.
They're the one that made Old 45s, right?
What?
Old 45s. That one banned by Chromium.
Colt 45 and 3 zigzags.
Jealous, I Ain't With It is by Chromio, so it was sort of off, but it was so close.
I know that's the joke I was making. Old 45s was also by Chromio.
Really?
Yeah.
That's holy fuck. That doesn't seem right.
Star Wars talk turned into song talk.
Yeah.
Song Wars talk.
Yikes.
Can I turn this into like my Grogu corner for a second?
You're a Grogorner?
Yeah,
we haven't talked about Grogu really at all, and I love him.
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm very tired of Grogu being in a fucking potato sack. Show us the man's feet already. I'm tired of him dragging a stupid ass sack around.
I love his little feet when he's dragging his sack around. Like, there's the scene when they drop,
hate it.
like, coming home, like, with all the birds and shit like that. And his little, like, feet's just going are so cute.
Like, he walks so fast now instead of just, like, waddling everywhere. Like,
Love him.
He's still so slow, though, because he's tiny, but he's so cute.
I have fully acknowledged, I just wish he wasn't in this show right now. But, like, I love him. Like, he's so cute, and I just can't.
I like him as a concept. Like, I like the idea of Din raising this strange creature to be a Mandalorian foundling that has, force powers. I like seeing him in his little combat scene. I just think that he looks awful in this show.
Really?
I think they could have done without him in this season because, like, it could have been Din going back to the Mandalorian being like, oh, I miss Grogu now. And then at the end, he goes and gets him or some shit.
Doing it in Book of Boba Fett, you bastards.
Every time that Grogu does anything athletic in this show, it's like in order to save money, they literally just throw the puppet.
Yeah, like, I completely agree. It looks goofy as hell when he does
it looks so bad.
Practical
like when he's
effects,
jumping
maybe.
over that kid, they're just like, toss the puppet over the kid's head and then toss it back. Just, cut the person throwing him out of the frame. It looks so fucking stupid. But
like
beyond that,
when
I don't mind
jumpy
Grogu as
jumps,
a character.
When he does the jumpy jumps, yeah, it's a little goofy, but I'm like, it's like how you're gonna have to do it. I think they should have done more like that should have been more of like a little scene, like the kid
really
like
does
attempts
like
to
a
shoot
fucking...
him, and like misses, and he's just jumping to the side or some shit. I don't know, like. Why
Well, I also think that like Ragnar Wiesla got kind of set up in that scene because like this kid's like 12, and they're like, all right, now fight this toddler.
Well, he's a 50-year-old toddler. To be fair.
And he's like, yeah, but he's still a toddler though, and poor Wiesla kid is still like, what? Like, you want me to fight this thing?
My
like that, I thought
a
that
baby?
scene because like the way that Grogu was like turning around to Din, like, do you really want me to fucking fight like they're fighting right now? I thought he was gonna actually fist to fist, like fucking punch you in the face or something like that.
Thanks for the follow, Pedigree.
Thanks for following,
Hey,
Pedigree.
Yeah,
555.
I think they chose the darts thing because like what the hell else are they gonna choose?
Exactly.
Yeah, they made him play fucking paintball instead.
Stupid.
Imagine
But
Grogu
I did-
with like a
I
fucking
did-
practice vibro blade.
That would be sick.
That'd be great.
That'd be so
Like,
cool.
4
He's gonna
times
get
the
his
length
helmet at
of
the
his
end of the
body.
season for sure.
I just wanted
No.
to jump onto Ragnar's helmet and start punching it. Like, just that would have been so fucking funny to
Like
visually
Rock
see.
the Raccoon.
Yeah,
I did like the armorer giving him his own little Beskar plate though. That was kind of cool.
Thought
I love that.
that was going to be a shield. I was so confused.
Here's your
at what
shield
it
and
was.
here's your sword, and just gives him like a fucking.
He's got a
mini
little
sword,
like chainmail Beskar like shirt on, and he's got his little Mando shield. It'd be so fucking funny.
Yeah, I think it's weird that chainmail is canon in Star Wars.
It is a little weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a little strange.
When
I
they
was
said
like-
that, I was like, why? Why change?
Because like if you think about it, right?
Comes in a
Beskar
full-
Beskar armor is normally poured out into like a plate. That way it can be shaped, or it's poured into a mold. You can't pour chainmail.
Yeah, how the hell did they shape it? Like, it's so small. How
Yeah,
the armor shape this
It's
armor?
it's especially frustrating because in the mercs we are not allowed to wear it. There cannot be anything that resembles chainmail.
well, get fucked.
It's
They're changing that
stupid.
now.
Can you imagine Grogu coming in with like a full set of his
Technically-
own like sized Mandalorian armor?
Technically,
They're not
there's
changing
no
it.
there's no Mandalorian
Exactly.
right that currently wears chainmail. The only way that will change is if Grogu becomes a full-fledged Mandalorian, in which case then
Even
and
then it
only
wouldn't.
then.
So the way that it works is the only time that something can alter the CRLs is if we see a full-fledged humanoid Mandalorian wearing that armor.
Oh, that's
And
just
it's not-
racist.
Yeah, that's
And it's-
fucking racist, bro.
Hold on, and it's not and it's not a specific character. So, for example, if Grogu, even if he grows to be a full-fledged Mandalorian wearing the helmet and everything, if Grogu as an adult is wearing chainmail, then and no other Mandalorian does, then you will only be allowed to wear chainmail if you were cosplaying as Grogu.
Like all the kids are like,
Well,
"That's some cool
only-
chainmail. I want that." And then
Yeah.
every Mandalorian wears
Right,
chainmail now.
Like how Boba has the dent in his helmet.
Yeah.
We cannot have a dent in our helmet in the exact same place at all
You have
unless we're
like
doing Boba.
that dent and then like a second dent right beside it.
That's usually fine. Like,
Okay.
but if you're wearing the same helmet as Boba and you have the same dent in the same place, that's not allowed. So it's basically there has to be more than one examples of multiple Mandalorians wearing the armor for it to change the CRLs. If
What
it's
type
just
of-
one dude, then you can only cosplay as that one dude.
Richard, did you notice? Because since you're like the armor guy, I've been noticing this in the shot where they come back and like they bring the birds back or whatever, the raptors.
Mm-hmm.
There's like a guy with a helmet on that has like it looks like one of those old school football helmets on. Like it's not even like covering his whole head.
What?
Yeah. Okay.
Let's see.
Okay. Let me share my. Actually, I'm a Chrome. Fuck. Go to. Oh, what time is this? Go to 2:57. Sorry,
that's-
24:57. 24:57 in the episode. And there's a guy with his. You can see the back of his head, and it looks like there's just like a sack on it, and then like.
Oh yeah, what the fuck?
The helmet like parts, kind of.
Here.
Let me take a
This
look
guy right here.
here.
Who that?
AJ's gotcha.
Let's go back 10 seconds so we can see him. He'll be showing up right around this area.
I know what that is.
Noticing it like a little bit. He's right there
Who
too. I
dat?
didn't even notice that shot, but he's right there too.
Huh.
Yeah.
I know what that is, but I'll let you make your guesses first.
Come on, Mando guy.
No guesses. I have no idea. I want to see him from the front and see if his helmet is just weird.
Is it leather?
I can't see the front, but I can say that kind of helmet is not something that exists in the CRLs right now. We wouldn't be allowed to wear that.
It will be now.
Maybe
So,
if
Bring it
you're
up.
cosplaying as that guy.
It will be now. I like that.
So my
Oh, you stop sharing my screen.
the way that I read this, right, as a designer, these people are that's a child.
Yeah, there's a child there, and then there's a full-grown person there too.
Yeah.
So there's two people wearing this helmet.
That
There's
might
not a
just be-
full-grown man at 2:47. That is a child. That is one child greeting another child. That's the only person that has that. And my assumption is that is a helmet that they had lying around that was busted in the back, and so the Forge Mother was like, "Well, this will have to do. I've made the arrangements. Don't let your hair show."
I guess you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Don't
my
let
my
your hair
kind
show.
of
The other
theory
kid
on
can't
that
go
show is
underwater.
probably just a
Right,
damaged
can't go
helmet.
shows.
For this one.
It looks like it's a damaged helmet to me, but I don't know.
I'm gonna go earlier in the
Unfortunately-
episode and see if I can't see the kid like practicing or
It
some
looks
shit.
fucked up. That's all.
When it comes to, like-
That's all I'm saying, man.
When it
That
comes
shit
to
looks
Star
weird.
Wars,
I got a shot of his face. 1 second. Kind of.
Oh, his face.
Here.
Okay, I was about to say, like, really? Like, 'cause that would be like against the
The
creed.
front of his helmet is here. Look, it's like fully leather.
okay, yeah, it is a kid. I don't know what's going on. I think it's probably some kind of training helmet.
That's like
Yeah.
crazy looking.
He
That's
It's like
weird.
straight out of Vikings,
might
man.
have completed the creed, but they didn't have like enough material to make the helmet, or he might have
That
completed-
sucks.
might have
we're gonna
completed
make
the
this little child like
Well,
Yoda.
it
Whoa,
makes
whoa,
sense
I
'cause-
want to be that guy. Yeah, the armor literally made this fucking kid his helmet, and this kid gets his shitty little leather helmet.
Well-
little leather piece.
like I was getting at. He might have taken the creed, but might not be able to prove himself yet in combat, which is why he doesn't have a full Mandalorian helmet.
Could be. I
Yeah.
mean, who knows? It's an important distinction too, because none of the Foundlings don't wear armor either. None of them.
Just the helmet.
Yeah, they just have like normal clothes on under that.
So who knows what the deal is with that? I doubt that's going to be anything that updates in the
No.
CRLs.
No, probably not.
Well, for that, it'd be like, okay, children can wear this. The end.
Oh yeah, that'd be
One of
good.
the
Because
things, like the scene that you're on right now, that's actually a big one for the CRLs too. Is like that guy's wearing baggy pants, and like Boba in Book of Boba wears baggy pants. We are not allowed to wear baggy pants. We have to wear tighter pants than that.
You
So
are
I'm
now.
Sincerely
You are
hoping
now!
that they update that. Actually, yeah, because we weren't with Boba because they were saying like you can't wear baggy pants because right now only Boba wears baggy pants. Well, now we have multiple examples of multiple Mandalorians wearing baggy
Fuck,
pants.
dude, they're shifting
so-
the game with this.
It's gonna
Baggy
cause
pants.
a massive shakeup, but it's a good shakeup, I think.
Yeah, let me have baggy pants.
Oh,
man.
there it is
Shit's
again. There's
There
a
he
big-
is again.
big-
That looks so. I'm not gonna lie, guys. That
This
just
looks
looks bad.
stupid.
This looks really bad.
Yeah, it looks like shit.
Yeah, that's
Wow, it literally looks worse than a football helmet from the 40s. Like, Jesus.
that's definitely going to be my assumption. It's either a training helmet or they've taken the creed but haven't proven themselves
Yeah.
in combat yet.
It could also not be a human.
It could also be that they didn't think we would hyperanalyze this scene.
Maybe not, but
I never
Mandalorians
expected there
don't
to be
have
a
to be
Richard
humans.
in this stream.
Holy
And-
crap.
Mandalorian helmets can take differences depending on the species wearing it.
Yeah,
so.
like I genuinely think that the armor is going to be revealed to not be human.
What if it's a Tusken?
Could be.
I would be so
that's
into
pretty
that.
good.
I would be stupidly into that, but I'm.
We'll never know.
You will.
I
know,
mean-
you will know because you'll go like.
Well, Tuskens, number one, Tuskens can in fact speak common. All right, that's a proven fact. They just choose not to because they're like, fuck you.
Racist.
But looking at the back of this helmet design now, it definitely looks Tusken in design.
Could be. I think realistically, they probably just didn't have enough helmets for kids.
Probably, yeah.
They ran out of those Toys R Us fucking helmets.
I don't
they-
care about the actual lore. I
Yeah.
care about what they're gonna say to explain the helmet.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what happens all the time. Is they have like production things where they need to change something in the background, and then
Literally,
it creates a whole new lore for something.
guy in Cloud City is running around with a Camtono, and that became a pivotal character. Like, Jesus
Yeah, for sure.
Christ.
Yeah, it's typical Star Wars to like create lore where there is none. But I think really, like even in the lore, they could easily just say that like this kid's just wearing like a training helmet.
Yeah.
Yeah,
This kid's just wearing a shitty leather helmet that we've just had laying around forever.
Yeah, like
So more
it's-
mythosaur action at the end.
Yeah. Okay, what did you guys get from the armor there? What's the vibe?
That I think that she thinks that Bo-Katan's kind of bullshitting, but like also kind of believes it.
I don't. I
No.
think that she probably believes Bo and maybe thinks that Bo might be special. I don't think that the mythosaur is going to come back though.
I'm kind of
Like, every
with
episode
Richard
now.
on this. I think what the Forge Mother was trying to say is, yeah, of course you saw it. It's the way. I don't know why you.
Yeah,
what do you
what
want?
do you think?
What do you want me to say to you? You
It's
saw
right
the
here, and then it
mythosaur.
comes
You
out
were
and
meant
it-
to see the
I'm
mythosaur.
on the mythosaur.
I think that the Forge Mother either believes that Bo really did see it, or she believes that Bo had a vision of it, and either way, it's important.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say something a little weird here about the Forge Mother, right? I don't think the Forge Mother is human either.
Mm-mm. I think she's Zabrak.
Ooh,
I also agree that she's
Yeah.
Zabrak.
I think that'd be cool.
I mean,
like the
it's in
horns on her
helmet.
helmet are actually just to cover her actual horns.
I think she's either Zabrak or she is former Mandalorian.
I genuinely,
Ooh,
I
yeah.
subscribe to the Mandalorian theory for sure.
The only thing that
Um,
makes me think against that is that the Mandalorians weren't like the children of the Watch are very clearly offshoots of Death Watch,
Which were offshoots of,
which were already offshoots. So I think that it's plausible she could be a Mandalorian, but I think it's more likely that she's possibly just a Zabrak.
I think she's like a Mandalorian that's like, well, we fucked up and now we got to go back. You know what I mean? Like she realizes that the Mandalorian way was like
Like a
pointless.
Jedi after the Jedi fell.
Could be,
Well-
but that wouldn't explain to me why she'd keep the horns on her helmet.
So the Mandalorian horns are very pronounced to be like blades
Yeah, they're huge.
or no horns at all, and I don't think that's the case
I
whatsoever.
think it's more likely that she's just Zabrak for sure.
I
It says
think
that
she's-
they're worn down or something like that. Not even like maybe she just changed the helmet afterwards. She's like altering it slightly.
Yeah, she
I-
can alter the deal. Pray she doesn't alter it anymore.
Hmm, I don't think that's the case. I think
She might
she's
just be
definitely
Zabrak. I guess subscribe to that. That would be really cool and a really
I
crazy.
don't think we'll ever
reveal
know.
if they ever do that.
I don't
think
think
we'll
we'll
know by the
ever
end of the
know
show.
anything about her. I don't think that they intend on ever showing us her face.
I think people are going to have an outcry enough that they eventually will,
Yeah.
just like in a little thing.
I think the opposite, and we've talked about this with the Mythosaur. I think that Disney surprisingly does care about Mandalorian mythos enough to not reveal things that shouldn't be revealed.
we have yet to see about the
You're
Mythosaur though.
crazy for the Mythosaur thing, though. I'm sorry, but like, God.
Are you going to eat your shorts when the Mythosaur shows up?
No, I'm going to Venmo Sam $1, and I'm never going to watch this fucking show again.
There you go. I'll take that.
Good enough. All right, cool.
what makes me question the fact that she's Zabrak is the fact that the Night Sisters are renowned for not having horns on their head. And I don't know if that's because of like a ritual that they do that like prevents the horns from growing. I haven't seen a female Zabrak other than like Knights of the Old Republic, where
Do
they
you
have
guys know the Night
horns.
Sisters have a like a laser bow that sort of is similar to the one that they have in
Fucking
Bad Batch?
Don't even get me fucking started.
So, okay, the Night Sisters don't have horns on their heads. There have been female Zabraks in canon previously. I don't know if any of them are in current canon though.
Let's look up female Zabrak.
But there's been plenty of examples of female Zabrak with horns. I just don't know if any of them are current. You know.
There's one in the Clone Wars.
Oh, there was that one in the Clone Wars. Yeah, she was a bounty hunter.
There we go. Dunzo.
So yeah, that makes me wonder if there's like a ritual that they do to prevent the horns from growing, because they obviously the Night Sisters take children, right, and then they groom them. I have no other way to fucking say that, but that's it's a fucking cult. What do you want? And I feel like if you don't become a Night Sister, then your horns continue to grow, sort of scenario. So I don't know if it's like the food that they are fed by the Night Sisters or what. But I do know that if you are in fact a Night Sister, that the chances of you growing horns are slim to none.
I'm sure that they have special magic shit that they do to explain it. If I remember correctly, Zabrak horns grow even more pronounced too if they have like dark side energy running through them.
That's what happened to Savage, yeah. But yeah, what I'm getting from looking this up is that it seems like that there's just the Night Brothers that are like a separate strain of Zabrak, and then the others are Dathomirians. Like that's just what.
Yeah, that's what I was just.
Specific.
The Erodian Zabrak. Yeah. So maybe it's close relative to the Night Sisters, but not the same.
Yeah, they're just. I think it's just It's
exactly. Speaking of Night Sisters, I'm excited for Marin to come back in the second game.
Me fucking too, dude. She was great.
Who?
Apparently her entire personality is like pretty different or like evolved.
You gotta read the books.
Marin is in Jedi Fallen Order. She's a Night Sister that joins Cal Kestis on his ship.
Whatever.
You didn't play that game?
No.
Oh man,
I could get it to you for $10 if you want.
I haven't. I just haven't played it.
I was bummed out that she didn't join sooner. I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel like I wanted more time with her, but that's what this next game will be.
I want more Marin, please.
Yeah, Marin's awesome. I actually shipped the shit out of her and Cal, so let's hope for that in the second.
There's some cool stuff with her that I know about. I'm not gonna say anything more than that. I'm gonna shut up right now.
In season or in the second game or the trailer for that just came out, when she's talking about like the fire, I think that was beautiful. I think that was a great way to describe Cal's like struggle right now. But that's a different thing. Actually, that's coming out.
But that's just a theory.
Soon, right? Like that's in a month.
A game theory.
It's coming out soon, yeah.
Fucking A, man! I can't wait.
I don't care.
Well,
speaking too much Star Wars.
Speaking on that game, I'll look for someone to raid into that's playing Jedi Fallen Order.
Oh, I'm reading more into. I fucking love reading lore, dude. That's like my favorite thing. And I only read into lore like when I'm questioning, like, what is this? Mm-hmm. So the Night Sisters are Dathomirian.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
And the Night Brothers are also Dathomirian, but they have Zabrak in them, so they're not full-blooded Zabraks.
And it's why they changed the whole thing about like Darth Maul's tattoos and shit like that, because like I remember back in the day it used to be that he got like Sith tattoos, but now it's that like that certain type of Zabrak just like does that as a ritual or some shit like that.
So full-blooded Zabraks do in fact grow horns, but a female that is born from a Night Sister and a Night Brother will not have horns.
But crazy lore, love it.
Crazy lore.
I love Star Wars, man. Like the world of Star Wars is just so good.
I think it's cool that there's more than one magical force out there, right? We have the Force, but then we also have actual fucking magic. Yeah, I'm like, oh yeah, this is dope.
Well, Night Sisters just use the Force in a different way.
Well, that's just from my point of view. It's the McClunky. I'm done talking about Star Wars today.
We are going to rate into massive jugs.
Sisters are evil. What?
We're gonna rate into massive jugs.
All right, yeah.
Massive jugs.
Brittle Ridge plays video games like Boomer Shooters, like Cultic and Doom, and I stream a podcast and do gameplay of just random ass games that we talk about. And we're playing fighting games tonight at 6 p.m. Eastern time with Brittle
Check us
Richard.
out. Goodbye.
That was like the quickest like shout outs.
Little promo.
Ever. Yeah, nice.
Pickles
Easy.
goodbye.
You guys,
McClunkey.
you did
McClunkey.
great. You don't have to be so quick about it. We normally just fuck around here at the very.
Yeah, we usually run out of time before we're done.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, we normally run out of time. That's why I made it quick, damn you.
We're gonna be
Well, now we
chatting
got people talking before it's over.
about Bad Batch tomorrow. We have a fuck ton of episodes to cover, so holy shit.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
I
gotta
think
finish
episodes
that.
11 to 14, so like there were some fucking bangers in that one, and then there was one that was okay. I actually think I like it more than most people.
I just want swoop bike races to come back, dude.
I think Pabu
Alright.
was okay. That's what I'll say. It was like fine. It did.
I
I
think it
want
was
this dumb shit show to end.
And
Show fucking sucks.
it's
I have not
great.
watched anything past episode 2.
I hate this show. Sincerely, I hate it. Every episode is so fucking boring.
Oh,
Even when the McClunky podcast
every
ends,
time I see
there's a
one
little bit of
site,
content at
I'm
the
out.
end.
I'm checked. Okay, McClunky.
okay,
McClunky!
gang.
Is the music playing?
No.
Okay.